Hey everybody, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Teri Hunter, and I am an angel therapy practitioner, intuitive astrologer, Reiki master, and empowerment coach. And today I want to talk about Chiron and Jupiter going retrograde in the United States, fourth house Aries. Chiron will be going retrograde on the 19th of July. And Jupiter will be going retrograde on the 28th of July. Both of these energies are stationing, which means they have been slowing down and almost getting to a point of standing still before they go backwards in the sky, offering us review and reevaluation and reassessment. Chiron is the point in the chart that represents the wound that is brought into the experience. And I'm addressing the United States almost as if it was a human being, a collective energy. So with Chiron being in the stationing energy right now, where it is slowing down, and it has been slowing down since mid-June. And Jupiter is slowing down to go retrograde and has been doing so since the beginning of July, around July 8th. Both of these planets will be at the exact same degree, meaning Chiron will be at 16 degrees Aries and Jupiter will be at 8 degrees Aries for over a month. Chiron will be at it for almost 2 months at that degree, and Jupiter almost 6 weeks. This is a very, very powerful time. Now, I want to talk a little bit about the idea of what Chiron represents. Chiron is the product of Philyra and Saturn. They both are energies. Saturn and Philyra morphed into horses and they mated. And when Chiron was born, Philyra was horrified that she had given birth to half animal, half human, and she rejected Chiron at birth. This is reflective of the first wound of Chiron: abandonment, judgment, a lack of love. Chiron is found by Apollo. Apollo nurtures Chiron and teaches Chiron the ways of healing, using herbs, using the ways of the earth, and gets a sort of a feeling of love from Apollo. And then Chiron is in battle for good. I'm kind of paraphrasing everything, and is struck by Hercules's arrow and now experiences a physical wound that is unhealable. So Chiron represents a point in the chart that feels like a wound that we never really healed from. And I believe that's because we aren't meant to heal from it, but to garnish wisdom from it and to find a reconciliation in the experience as the gift is revealed. So we have this happening in the United States at 16 degrees. This is very, very powerful, as the 16th degree refers to the Cancerian degree. So we have the United States having its wound stationing at the degree of homeland, patriotism, nurturing, intuition, and really looking at things from a perspective of the emotional body, the water body, the intuitive body. Chiron is going to make an opposition during this time, or is in opposition to the United States natal Saturn. I'm going to share my screen now. Let me try a new share. Here we go. I want to show you what I'm talking about. So here we have the transiting Chiron in an opposition to Saturn, Saturn being the father of Chiron. The initial feeling of repression and rejection and fear. Chiron fearing he will never be loved. So the United States is going through this feeling of repression, limitation, rules, regulations. The 10th house rules government and authority and what's seen in the public eye. So we're having a very strong energy between these two. And Saturn is exalted. It's in its highest energy in Libra. So this is an interesting energy because I also believe that Saturn, as an evolved energy, is stretching for balance within its opposition to the sun. And I say the sun meaning S-O-N, Chiron, that was not a perfect child because he was half horse and half human. So then we also have, interesting, is a square between the transiting Chiron and the sun of the United States. This is, the sun is at the Aryan degree, 13th degree. So we're seeing this sort of fight between, a square is a very tense conversation. It's a friction. And in my way of looking at it, it's a friction that actually sort of sands down those hard edges and smooths them out, but yet still allows for their definition. So we see this wound at the Cancerian degree, 16 degrees, holding and stationing until mid-August, or even late August, because we've got till the 22nd, almost till Virgo season. And this is at, how will the United States now transform the wound and seek the truth and the transformation of the truth, meaning the truth that everything is flawed. The truth is that being in a situation where we represent the most high ideals of the Cancerian energy. How do we nurture ourselves? Do we allow our insecurities to hold us back? Are we allowing our intuitive bodies to grow, or are we being stuck in the old Saturn's opposition to transiting Chiron, the old ways that no longer serve, the ways that restrict and confine the expansion of the soul's experience on this planet? Now, Chiron is going backwards, and so is Jupiter. Jupiter is stationing and has been stationing since approximately July 8th, and will continue to station at the 8th degree until the 18th of August. So this is the planet of expansion, wealth. It rules our judicial system, the Supreme Court. It rules the church and any sort of large organized religions. It rules foreign travel, foreign places, foreign things. And while Jupiter is considered a benevolent planet that bestows benefit on others, it is in a square to the natal Jupiter here in Cancer. And I think this is where we are really starting to see this idea of this friction between old beliefs and new beliefs, evolved beliefs. We have Jupiter also squaring the natal sun of the United States. The conjunction is, the square is not as tight, but it is, well, they're kind of in between because Jupiter's at 8 degrees stationing. So it is 3 degrees away from natal Jupiter, and it is 5 degrees away from the natal sun. So this is a real tense and it can be an energy that actually makes people be more stubborn about their beliefs rather than open-minded about their beliefs. This is a time when learning how to listen might be a very, listen isn't the word I want to use. It's almost about allowing someone else to voice their beliefs without trying to defend your own or trying to change their mind. This is going to be something that I think we're going to be experiencing throughout the rest of 2022. But during this time when these Chiron and Jupiter are stationing in Aries, this wanting to be aggressive is going to be part of this, wanting to fight for your beliefs, wanting to fight for your deeper truth. And the fight will not be really productive if we go about it in the same way we have over and over again, which is this opposition to Saturn, the old ways in relation to Chiron and Jupiter, but Chiron specifically because it's within 2 degrees. It's a very tight opposition. We also have the transiting Jupiter in trine on the 28th to the new moon, and the United States North Node in Leo. This is going to be an energy that feels as if there's going to be a wanting to roar in some ways, wanting to birth. You know, if we see here, we can see that the North Node is in Leo. And I feel like this is a time of wanting to claim our position, our leadership. And I also feel like while the trine aspect is considered harmonious, I feel that it is going to take all of us digging down to our deeper truth to perpetrate that trine, to purport that trine, to start to look at how do our beliefs support where we want to evolve as a country versus the opposing views that tend to foster more friction than they do harmony. We also have transiting Jupiter retrograde making a sextile to the South Node in Aquarius. So I think this gives us an opportunity to really look at how we liberate ourselves, to be aware of our beliefs as we move forward. We can see how close this South Node is to Pluto, both in natal and in transit. And while I don't think that is that tight of a situation or a conjunction, it's definitely going to come into play. We've got to remember right now we have Pluto going retrograde. So it's moving away as we get into 2022 deeper from this point. At the same time, Jupiter will be moving closer to this point. So this is a really big time between now and, let's say, August 22nd, 23rd, as these 2 points sit with their feet just firmly on the celestial plane, saying, I'm not moving until you recognize this and dig down to the deeper truth. And as an intuitive astrologer, I think that it's super important for us to, rather than mere, I don't know quite how to put this, because I feel like I don't want to talk about, being a passive person in a way that's disempowering. I really think it's about implementing the laws of attraction. It's about implementing our focus and our thoughts. And as we align to this disruptive time, birthing a whole new liberated and innovative and more connected and more loving experience for humans, especially in the United States, because this is the focus of this chart, then we will become very powerful in how we learn and implement agreeing to disagree, how we quote unquote war. As I say, even the word war, I think of of it inverted, and it's raw, being raw. And I think that's raw in our beliefs, in the sense of, am I willing to be raw and innocent, that history doesn't have to repeat itself, but when it does repeat itself, it is doing so that the soul and the human has an opportunity to make a new choice, to take a new tact. And I believe with Jupiter's influence here, and with Chiron being such a healer and being able to use my wound and turn it into a gift, it's giving us an opportunity to say, how do I connect with that which I cannot see? Jupiter rules the angelic realm, the connection to the divine source energy, to the things that we cannot see in a spiritual capacity. So as we take this in and we think, okay, is this disruption really about crumbling our world, or is it about the demolition before a renovation? And if I use my power of focus and my connection to my divine source as my true north, am I not being more powerful than any action the human can take on this planet? This is why I wanted to do this video, why I wanted to focus in on the dynamics of the United States. This particular stationing of Jupiter and Chiron seemed very, very interesting and palatable to me, especially since the Jupiter retrograde starts on the day of the new moon in Leo, which rules leadership. It also rules coming from the heart, as it rules the heart and the spine, having the courage to come from my heart versus coming from my anger and my frustration. I can't remember the quote, but when in Star Wars, when Yoda and the council consider an apprentice or a Jedi Knight or someone to be trained as a Jedi, they really look at how dominant is the anger, how dominant is their fear, because that is where the weakness of a hero is. In giving in to their anger and their fear, they lose their connection to source and thereby their focus on what can be and what is intended to be. And they become caught up in what is, which is an injustice, of a perceived injustice of some kind. And that sends us down a new path of, or an old path of, trying to fight with the same energy that we don't want to experience. I hope that made sense. I hope that's helpful for you today. I'm very interested and very fascinated by these transits going on within our country. There's a lot more transformation ahead. So I'm hoping to bring you a perception and a perspective that helps you choose your path through your connection to the divine, and using that, sort of the idea of my thoughts are things, that which I think of creates at one level, that which I think of and focus on creates at another level, and that which I think of, focus on, and take inspired action towards is made manifest in my world. And this is how we will truly redefine the America of tomorrow. Thanks for listening, everybody. I appreciate your time today. Please like, please subscribe, and please share.